Welcome to Hope Starts Here. We're learning as we journey together in this unprecedented time in our lives, our nation's life, our world's life. We're learning to focus on what matters most, to see Jesus more clearly, and because he is lovable, to love him more dearly, and then to be able to follow him more nearly. And that little candle reminds us that Jesus uniquely is the light of the world, that his light has come into the world, and the darkness couldn't put it out. And then that because of that, he says, you and I get to be the light of the world. We used to sing a song when I was a little kid, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And that's what we do. So take a moment now, this always helps me, as I want to still my mind before God. Just relax your body, let go of anything that might be troubling or concerning or worrying you, and breathe in hope, and breathe out fear. And breathe in life. And breathe out death. And now we get to see Jesus. This is a remarkable passage. In some ways, it's the turning point in Jesus' ministry. And what marks it might be a bit of a surprise. We're told there were some Greeks among those who were coming up to the worship at the festival. They came to Philip and they said to him, "Sir, we would see Jesus." And Philip went to Andrew, and Andrew and Philip together brought them to Jesus. When I was growing up in our church, there was a pulpit, and behind that pulpit, there was a little plaque, and it simply had those words on it, "Sir, we would see Jesus." So that whoever was preaching would be reminded that's the great cry of the human race. Now, Jesus, up until this point, has consistently said, "My hour is not yet come." You might remember when his mother asked him for some wine at the wedding, he said, "Woman, my hour has not yet come." But as soon as Philip and Andrew come to him, Jesus says, "The hour has come." Now, why is that? Well, now, Greeks have come. Gentiles have come. Outsiders have come. Those who were excluded have come. Now Jesus knows this movement cannot be stopped. The whole world is coming to him. And Andrew, the one that we might think of, was left out of the big three. Andrew's bringing somebody else to see Jesus. And so now his hour has come. But his hour is not going to look like what anybody thought it would look like. It's not going to look like triumph. It's not going to look like the corner office. It's not going to look like the big title, the big throne, the big win. Now the hour has come. And then he says, unless a little grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. If you want to live, you must die. The hour has come, and he is going to do that. This is the great revolution that would change the world. I had a teacher, Ian Pitt Watson, who used to say there have only been two great revolutions. One of them was the agricultural revolution, when a human being, let's call him Fred Flintstone, discovered this strange thing. If you put something called a seed into the ground and you bury it, it turns out that it wasn't buried, it was only planted. There's a big difference between being buried and being planted. Doesn't look any different. Gets covered up by the same amount of dirt. If you're a seed, it feels like you were buried. But then something way up high says to something down in the ground, come alive. And it does. And Jesus says it is that way. The second great revolution is not agricultural, it is spiritual. I love that about Jesus. He gives up his life. He does it each day in servanthood and generosity. And then he does it at the climax of everything on a cross. And that is glory. Not a big throne, not a big win, not a big army, not a big office. A man on a cross. And because of that, the upside down Jesus has changed everything. So now today, follow him in giving up your life out of love for him and other people. And I'll see you tomorrow.